Welcome back to Simplify Your Small Business. I am David Wolf here with the extraordinary Melanie Rembrandt. Melanie, welcome back.
Hello, extraordinary David Wolf. How are you this morning?
Oh, thank you. And you are the extraordinary PR expert around small business, and that's why we're here. We're here to simplify, and we wrap PR and marketing and communications, which is the businesses, respectively. You and I are both in really different aspects. We're on the production side. You're on the strategic side. So we're here to help you simplify business owners. And in this installment, we're going to talk about how to optimize your content for Google search. All right. So this remains a mysterious black box under the hood kind of world. Melanie, you've been under the hood over many, many years. Talk to us about artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and some of the other new technologies that are kind of opening up and helping small business owners.
Well, you're hearing a lot of news about this, and to a lot of small business owners, it can be very scary if they're not technically oriented or if they just don't have time to deal with it. So I wanted to put together just a few simple thoughts to work with this, because you don't need to be afraid of it and you can actually use it to your advantage.
Very good. And so the first one is write a conversation. So what do you mean when you say about writing a conversation? How does that look?
Well, today, a lot of people are using systems like Alexa or Siri or other voice-activated systems, and they look at it as a conversation. If you ask a question, where is the nearest pet store? What time does the florist open? So when you're creating your content for your business to get noticed by Google, think about the questions your customers would ask as a conversational type question. I mean, you want to pretend like you're talking to another person. It's not really just writing for your target market. You're now writing for the questions people ask when they're using these voice-activated systems.
Yeah, it's interesting how we're learning how people think by observing the way the software behaves and how it functions from the standpoint of asking a question and then answering it. And, I guess you can embed the question in, or you can just think from the question as you write. I mean, there's probably different writing techniques to get at this, but even in music, those of you who may or may not know, I'm a composer for many years. And a lot of times when you listen to music, there is a question and an answer. It's ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da, and then it resolves. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. In phrasing music, it's similar. This is the way humans communicate. It's the way nature communicates. So I love what you're pointing to, and I love how you're folding in this idea about technology is really wired to do that. Literally, they're coding around what questions do you ask and how can I solve it. So when we communicate, we can do the same thing. Am I hitting it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's simple. You have to think of it as simple terms as question and answer. We're not talking about products and services. We're talking about the questions your customers might ask and the answer you would give.
Right. Write it from their POV and from the question POV. Number 2 is use the right keywords. So we've talked about keywords in several episodes on Simplify, but if you will, let's elaborate here a little bit.
Right. Again, you want to keep it simple. If you want to answer a question for someone, you would use something like, how to use a coffee press, or coffee shop hours, or tips to grind coffee. Think about, the problem and solution and the keywords you would use within that people would search for. You don't have to think about it as this technical mumbo jumbo. Again, it comes down to providing solutions and the keywords people would use in asking those questions and searching for answers.
So there are tools online to help you find out how people Google for things.
There's a lot of free tools. You can look at Google Trends and type in your industry or some keywords and see what comes up.
Right.
And you can also look at your competitor sites. And there's also a lot of SEO tools out there like SEMrush that will provide information for you. But, you don't want to get overwhelmed, especially if you're not in that area in the tech side of things.
Okay.
But just think about the top keywords people would use to find your services and to keep it simple.
If you were looking for that, how would you search for it? Okay. So how do I simplify my business? That's a good one.
Exactly.
Right. Number 3, check results. All right. So this is the data in you, Melanie, right?
Yes. I mean, if you're going to do all this effort to create content and try to provide value to your customers, you've got to check to see if it's working. And a lot of people get worried about that and they don't know how to do it. You can look at your Google Analytics and see what content and links people are going to on your site. You can also look at feedback on your site. What are people asking questions about? And you can get a feel for which content is working and what isn't. But you want to make sure you check the results, because if you do all this work and you're not getting the results from your content or keywords you're using, what have you, you need to change what you're doing to get results.
Yeah. You really need to look at the ROI on any effort you're making, including all of the work you're doing around optimizing content for Google search. Thanks, Melanie. Great stuff as always. Hopefully helping you, the small business owner, simplify things in the spectrum of all the activities you are involved in your business. We'll see you next time on Simplify Your Small Business. I'm David Wolf with Melanie Rembrandt. You can reach her at rembrandtwrites.com, and we're at podcastandradio.com and or audiobooksolution.com. Be well.
Thanks, everyone, and make it a great day.